Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to another edition of the Mr. Warren Hayes Show. I am, of course, Mr. Warren Hayes, and this is the Raw Recap Show for the April 1st edition of Monday Night Raw. We didn't get swerved much this evening. Wasn't anything really outstandingly nutsoid that would make us reconsider, or like would have just where WWE would have just played us the fool. There was Stephanie McMahon who tried something at first, but that was disarmed very quickly. But we'll talk about that in a second. Hope everyone's having a great April Fool's Day. I sure did, because no one pranked me. I stayed at home today. This is what happens to me when people get free reign to do all sorts of stupid shit. You know, when people start doing this, when they have the opportunity to just be dicks to everyone else, I just stay inside. I don't want any part of this. You'd think that a gentleman of my caliber would enjoy a good prank or pranking people, but I don't. I prefer to stay away from any type of potential lawsuits, to be perfectly honest. People are so goddamn sensitive these days. Put some Vaseline on a doorknob. Next thing you know, it's like, oh, but the gentleman was allergic to petroleum products. And then, like, he has to get amputated. And then you don't say a word, but then the FBI gets in here and their forensics team trace, your DNA in the Vaseline back to you. That's the kind of thing I like to stay away from. Hey, I want to say hello, though, to everyone who is who's joining us in the chat tonight here on youtube.com/Mr. Warren Hayes, because yes, this show happens live every Tuesday night, 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard. We have Mr. Frets in the chat, Kristen Alley. Boom, 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 boom. Shane Haas is here. Anthony from Smart to Death. Joe Anthony's joined us tonight. How you doing? Blaine, of course, is here. Michael Stepney. Who else is here? Who else is here? Jamie Tannick is here as well. There's a lot of chat going on already. CM Phil and Nathan Coley. Nathan, we don't see you very often. Nathan, welcome to the chat. Very happy to see all of you here, because we do these live on youtube.com. Like I said, if you're watching this at any given moment, that's fine. Whether you're watching it live or whether you're watching it in the future, why don't you consider giving a little thumbs up to this video, a little like. You know what? It is a fantastic way to support what I do. It's super simple, but I really appreciate it, because then YouTube seems to think you like me. So then YouTube turns around and recommends my video to other people, saying, hey, you know what? If you like this guy, you might like that guy. That's how it works. So I really do appreciate it if you can do that. If you're watching this live again, tweet the link out. Let's get more people in here. That'd be fantastic. But you can also watch this on your own time right here on YouTube. But if you prefer to listen to the audio and not have to deal with all my insanely annoying mannerisms, then you can just head on over to your faithful favorite podcast application. I forgot to turn notifications on mute. Shush! You can go to your application for podcasting and just check that out. And it is a lot of fun to do that too. And what podcasting application should you go check out? Not the one you're using right now. You just search Mr. Warren Hayes in it, and I'll pop up. It's fantastic. All right, so it's WrestleMania week, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot of stuff happening, isn't there? Your boy Warren is covering pretty much everything that has to do with WWE this week. Plus a little something extra, a little sprinkle there to make me happy as well. Not that I'm not happy when I cover WWE, but it's fun sometimes to be able to move out of there and watch other stuff. There's a lot that I'll be doing this week. Tomorrow, of course, I'm doing my SmackDown Live recap show, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, right here again, live on youtube.com/Mr. Warren Hayes. Then on Wednesday, it is my usual 205 Live NXT recap show over on Fightful Select. But the twist here is that typically you have to be a member of Fightful Select to take advantage of that, to watch the 205 Live NXT UK recap show. But since it's WrestleMania week, your boys at Fightful have decided to make that show a free preview. A free preview of Fightful Select, so everyone can tune in and watch it this Wednesday immediately after NXT UK. I will be right here to check that out with all of y'all. So that'll be fantastic. Then on Thursday, I will be doing my NXT TakeOver New York recap show. And I will be joined by Omega Luke of the Omega Luke podcast. And I am very much looking forward to having Omega Luke with me. I've been on his show a couple of weeks ago, and he's a charming fellow. But he's really got a great mind for booking and understanding how wrestling works. That's part of his shtick. So it has to hold water. But he'll be joining me to talk about NXT. We're going to run down the show, give some predictions, have a good time. I'm really looking forward to having Luke on the show. And if you don't already follow his stuff, Omega Luke podcast on your favorite podcasting applications. He's a treat. He's a British treat. What's a British treat? A bag of crisps. Then on Friday, I'll be joining the boys over at Fightful, Sean Ross Sapp and Alex Pawlowski. We'll be recapping NXT TakeOver New York. So that'll be right after the show. Then on Saturday, I've got two things on the stack for Saturday. Saturday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. No, it's actually Eastern Daylight Time at this time of year. I will be joined. I will be doing my a WrestleMania predictions bonanza. And what exactly does that mean is that I'll be doing a prediction show, and I will be joined. I've invited a plethora of wrestling content creators, online wrestling content creators, podcasters, writers, journalists, to come join me, and they'll come in and out. If you've seen my surprise Thursday stream that I did a few weeks ago about Ronda Rousey, it'll be kind of like that format. Just people jumping in, sticking around for as long as they want, and then jumping right out. It should be a fun time, and I've invited a bunch of folks, so we'll see. We'll see who gets to jump in. Who shows up. There'll be an element of surprise. Maybe your favorite podcaster will be there. Maybe your favorite podcaster will not be there. You never know. You'll have to tune in at 11 a.m. Be doing it live right here on youtube.com/Mr. Warren Hayes. And then Saturday evening, I will be back on Fightful to recap the G1 Supercard with Sean. And I'm looking forward so much to the New Japan matches on that card. That and Jeff Cobb versus Will Ospreay, which is one of the matches I'm most looking forward to over this stretch of WrestleMania stuff. I'm really, really looking forward to all of that. It'll be a good time, and I hope you're around for all of that. And then, you know what? And then I'm just hunkering down and watching WrestleMania on Sunday. I have no plans to talk about it or to stream or anything. But, yeah. We'll see. That's about how it's. I just don't have any plans. Doesn't mean nothing's going to happen. I just don't have any plans. So your boy Warren is going to be really busy. I hope you join at least one or two of these things. All right. Are we ready to go? Are we ready to do this? I'm going to tell you, I'll be straight up with y'all. during the better part of the evening tonight, my internet connection was absolute garbage. And I was actually very much afraid that the stream wouldn't happen because it was just fluctuating in and out and just cutting out. But I did some troubleshooting as I was watching Raw, and the stream looks fine. I think no one's complaining that that it's not working, so that's good. But yeah, I think everything's okay. But I kind of watched. I wasn't 100% invested in Raw tonight. You can believe that. It was Raw tonight. Let's not forget, go home Raw for WrestleMania. We expect big things, don't we? We expect things. The big things. All right, I'm just taking a look at what chat's talking about. I felt like I ignored you, chat, last week, and I have a fantastic chat room, and I don't want to give the impression that I'm ignoring you, fine ladies and gentlemen of the chat, because I really appreciate you coming over and hanging out here when you can be doing so many other things. I do appreciate your time here, so everyone's talking about the John Oliver. The John Oliver situation, or at least his bit that he did on HBO on his show last night, where he basically took WWE to task on their treatment of their treatment of WWE wrestlers, and I thought it was well done. I thought, like some people in comments pointed out, there's some stuff that was dated. There was some stuff that wasn't taken in context, in order as well. Such as their comments about when they were talking about Bret Hart. The whole thing about that was taken from his documentary. His bitterness, and John Oliver was talking about how bitter, he had become, especially following the death of his brother Owen, and they put in this soundbite of Bret, a soundbite that actually happened way before Owen passed away. So, there's just some stuff that didn't sit quite right with me, but the overall message stays, and it's something that I even discussed on Omega Luke's podcast a few weeks ago. JPQ was there as well when we were talking about the guys and gals needing some time off, just to rehab injuries, spend some time with family, mental health. I think it's important, it's important for WWE to be more contemporary in that regard, instead of keeping your people on the road 5 days out of 7 week, or 4 days out of 7. But I thought it was fine. I thought it was okay. I thought the pedophile joke at the end was a little unfortunate regarding Roman Reigns. I just don't think it's funny. It's not as much that I thought it was offensive that I thought it was. I didn't think it was funny, and it just opened up a can of worms, and it distracted a lot of people from the real message of what Mr. Oliver was going for. Well, there we go. Just a couple of notes here. Joe Anthony here says WWE 100% should have an off season. It's maddening that they don't. CM Phil says Meltzer pointed out the same stuff last year. That should tell you not much has changed when it comes to employment status and rights. That is true. And Joe Cook agrees with me. The pedo thing was dumb. It was just unnecessary. You could have just left it at the wet hair comment, for a man who always has wet hair. And that made me laugh, because it's like, yeah. And I have a tendency to prefer Roman Reigns, dry-haired Roman Reigns, or man-bun Roman Reigns. Wet hair Roman Reigns kind of gets on my nerves. And it's not that I couldn't do it. It's not as if I couldn't grow my hair that long and then keep it wet. I could, if I wanted to. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I should do that, and that'd be like in preparation for my Halloween costume this year. Just be a Samoan, big Roman Reigns guy. Get some designs and just to get his tattoo sleeves done. Not actually get his tattoos, but like a print. Anyway, all right, we're off track already. All right, folks, let's get to it. Raw tonight started with and we were hyped for this, right? They got us Stephanie McMahon, and man, I was worried. I thought that they were going to go after something much more crucial than what happened. Well, I mean, it's still crucial, but yeah, I was sort of banging myself on my head on the wall, saying to myself, how could they make this angle even more confused and contorted than throwing Stephanie McMahon in the mix now? But, she basically comes out and she says, I have a big announcement, and the announcement that I have here tonight for you, ladies and gentlemen, is that I am adding a fourth competitor to the Raw Women's title match at WrestleMania, and it will be me. And everyone was sort of like, no. But then she basically says, ha ha, April Fools, suckers.
Yo, boy, it's a birthday.
Yep. It was an April Fool's joke that she pulled on us right there. So basically, I like it because they're very self-aware, right, of what the fans think. There's a very high level of self-awareness there, folks, and you have to appreciate that. So basically her announcement, her actual real announcement. I love how Chad is losing their minds over my little April Fool's animation. So basically, her real announcement is that the titles, all the titles will be on the line. Whoever wins the match will win both the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships. And that's exactly what Becky Lynch deserves after having to have put up with all that junk they put her through over the past few weeks. So that was essentially the statement, and that was it. So good on WWE showing some restraint in adding a McMahon to a match. They could have went a whole other direction here. Anyway, this leads us into Brock Lesnar, who comes out with one Paul Heyman. Don't know if you've heard of him. Paul says he finds it poetic justice that Stephanie was talking about winner takes all, because this is applicable to the Universal title match on Sunday, because the winner, Brock Lesnar, by the way, will be taking everything Seth Rollins has to offer. He will take Seth's best shot, and he will seize the moment and once again will define his own legacy at the expense of his opponents. He says, look, and basically starts listing off his WrestleMania accomplishments. He ended Undertaker's streak to a loud chorus of boos. He destroyed Roman Reigns' dreams last year, and this Sunday he will take Seth down with him. For those of you who watch hockey for the fights, NASCAR for the crashes, or football for the riots, and you will see Brock Lesnar violate Seth Rollins. His words, violate, not mine. But then Seth comes out then to a huge pop. Don't ever wonder if this dude is over or not. That pop was big. Seth comes to the ring and he says, this is the biggest match of his career. And you know what, Brock? It's the biggest one of yours as well, because after WrestleMania, nothing will ever be the same again. You won't be able to just walk in here and make demands. Nobody wants you here. I don't want you here. The locker room doesn't want you here. These people are sick and tired of you, Brock. This Sunday, I'm going to beat you. I'm going to take your title, and there's nothing you can do about it. And the whole time, Brock is just standing there, giggling, smirking. It's like, yeah, whatever. So he goes to leave the ring, and he sort of bumps into Seth, which is so good. Like, it doesn't take much to be it really doesn't take much to be a good heel. Just that little meh, oh son of a meh. And so how does Seth respond to this? Does he say, excuse me, sir, did you realize that you bumped into me? And did you realize that? Because if you didn't, I understand, but I would nonetheless be very appreciative if you were to apologize for your actions. No, that's not what Seth decided to do. He didn't take that course. Instead, he decided to kick Brock Lesnar in the nuts. Decided to just arch his leg back and just lean forward with some momentum and lodge it directly into Lesnar's nether regions, into Brock's rocks. But Seth nonetheless eats a German suplex. He goes up for an F5, but Seth wiggles out and low blows him again. Then super kicks Lesnar to the face and hits the stomp. Brock is rattled. Oh, man. And so basically Seth walks away. What was entertaining here, okay, here's what I like. Seth, I've always liked Seth's babyface character because he never really got rid of that little heel edge that he has. Like, he's a scrappy babyface. He'll do what's required to win. He's not honor bound. He just wants to win, and he'll do whatever it takes. We saw it in his feud with Dolph Ziggler. He doesn't mind pulling out a chair or using underhanded tactics to get it done, and he showed it again here, just to remind us he doesn't give a fuck. And backstage, when he meets up with Charlie Caruso, he's very satisfied with himself. He's got a big grin, and he's like, Brock had it coming to him. I like that. I like that. All right. Sasha and Bayley and Natalya and Beth Phoenix are next, facing Tamina and Nia Jax and the Iconics. What is a brand split? So this was, I gotta tell you guys, I'll just run down the match a bit, and then stick to your usual format, Warren. Stop trying to mix things up too much. So Sasha and Peyton lock up to begin with. Peyton does some trash talking. Sasha goes for a rope walk, arm drag, and it doesn't quite work out the way she wanted. Didn't look good. None of the arm drags that followed looked good. There's some double team by Sasha and Bayley that follows. Billie Kay gets tagged in. Eventually, Natalya tags herself in, suplexes Billie Kay, covers her but only gets 2. Then Beth Phoenix tags herself in. And we get some double team from the Divas of Dooms who cover Doom, who cover Billie and get 2. Beth then hits or locks in a wrist lock lift. But Peyton comes in to break it up, and the Boss and Hug Connection come to chase her off, and the faces get mad at each other. Beth is like, man, I had this under control. And it's like, no, we're here to help. We don't want to lose. We come back from commercial. And Bayley is driving elbows on Billie Kay in the corner until Peyton pulls her partner away. But Bayley still fights off both of them and ends up eating a big boot from Billie Kay. There are some double team that follows from the Iconics. Peyton goes to tag one of the bigger heel women in, either Nia or Tamina, but they jump off the apron. They don't want anything to do with this. They're like, no, you guys fight. We're saving ourselves. You soften yourselves up. Bayley goes to get the hot tag on Sasha, but Beth knocks Sasha off the apron so she'll get the tag. Then Beth goes after everyone with forearms, a big power slam on Peyton Royce. Tamina interferes, and Beth drives Tamina through the barricade on the outside, and that was a cool visual. That was really a cool visual. So Tamina's completely knocked out. Beth is stunned as well. Peyton Royce, was the legal woman, gets Beth into the ring, slaps her around a bit, which was not very smart. It's not smart. Why didn't she capitalize? Why didn't she do something, Peyton? Damn it. Because she gets glam slammed instead. There's some tension among the baby faces, right? So what this match basically served to do was to establish the fact that Beth Phoenix could be an X factor in the WrestleMania match, in the four-way match that they're going to have for the women's tag titles. But man, I got to tell you guys, I got to tell you straight off the bat, I thought everyone looked really, really good in this match.
Yo, boy, it's a birthday!
I gotcha. I thought only Beth Phoenix looked really good in this match. Bayley looked good as well. But Beth Phoenix, she kept this match together. She made everyone look good. She herself looked fantastic. Her offense was great. I have no issues with her being back in the ring. And she hasn't been wrestling for a while now, hasn't she? No, that was some good stuff. That was some good stuff. Very happy about it. Next we have Batista, who hits the ring, who comes into the ring after arriving to the arena in a limousine, and he comes to the ring and he gets massive cheers. Now I understand, and Chad, I'd like to know your opinion on this. I know that Batista is supposed to be the heel here, right? That's what they've built him to in Triple H's promos. You know, Dave, you beat up an old man who just like 8 months ago was on his deathbed. What kind of man are you? And then there's no babyface that spittles as much as he did. Spitting is a heel thing. But I'd like to know what you guys think. I mean, to me, Batista is angled to be the heel. Now, I understand he's in his hometown tonight, but I mean, he was welcomed as a hero, and he didn't act like a heel all that much. He got into the ring, he pointed his screen. We saw a montage of moments where Batista was just beating the shit out of Triple H. And then it ended with 4 words where Batista said, "Hunter, kiss my ass." I mean, you look cool. He was in control. A 4-word promo? Are you kidding me? As opposed to the long, elongated things that they've been delivering over the past couple of weeks. That was fantastic. That was super effective. I don't know. Jamie Tannick says, Batista is in Marvel movies, but Triple H runs NXT. Trips is the face in my book. Yeah, that's a good point. But then again, then again, right? I mean, Triple H, not Triple H, but Batista is Drax the Destroyer. How can you not love Drax? Elias is still in New York getting ready for his performance. So that's in a very, very throwaway segment. Put over the fact that he will not be interrupted this time. So, of course, he's getting interrupted. So now, we are coming into Apollo Crews. The Apollo Crews versus former WWE champion Jinder Mahal. What an opportunity for Apollo Crews to elevate his career should he be able to pin this former champion who held the title for over 170 consecutive days and is just chomping at the bit to get another opportunity. Jinder Mahal. And this is also a match. It's also one of these matches. And for some reason, all of the contenders, or at least most of them, who are participating in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, or Battle Royale, they're all around the ring. And I'm like, is this a lumberjack match? Because I hate lumberjack matches. They suck. But no, at least if it was supposed to be a lumberjack match, it wasn't very much put into force. I kind of chuckled that EC3 was out there with his arms crossed, looking very dejected, wondering what the hell, why did I leave NXT? What the hell, why did I leave Impact? So the match goes on, and of course, ladies and gentlemen, this would not be a Jinder Mahal match if Jinder doesn't go for a chinlock within the first 2 minutes of the match. So he's very happy to oblige. His signature offense is in. Apollo hits a frog splash and wins. He gets a win over former WWE champion Jinder Mahal. What a victory! Apollo Crews, strap a rocket to this guy. He just defeated the modern day Maharaja. And then so then Apollo starts posing with the trophy, saying it's mine, it's my time, you know. Then the B team move in. It's like no, we're gonna get it. And then just everyone's turns into a schmoz, but it's the necessary schmoz, right, to remind us how a battle royal works, because we're all goldfish. I don't remember how battle royals work. I'm so thankful that whenever there's a big battle royal that's booked, that WWE takes the time to assemble its talent and put them in the ring so they can toss each other over the top rope. So I can refresh myself that is how you win a battle royal, or how you get eliminated anyway, by being tossed over the top rope. Pinfalls, correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Pinfalls don't count. Submissions don't count, right? I mean, it wasn't really clear because I didn't see anyone in the ring trying to get a pin. So I'm like, So there's a bit of a gray zone there. So I'm thinking, could you get pinned in a battle royal? Chat, you're gonna have to help me out here. Yeah, boy. God, I hate it when they do that. Kurt Angle comes to the ring. He's instantly emotional. The minute he hits the ring, he's all teary-eyed, and the minute he opens his mouth to talk, it cracks. He says that it's his last night on Raw. And there's this extraordinarily fantastic Kurt Angle package of his all of his tenure. Video package, of course. I'm not gonna, what other kind of package right now? I don't have the proper sponsors to make a segue here. But no, WWE produced one of their extraordinary video packages recapping the career of Andre, not Andre the Giant, of Kurt Angle. Of course, they didn't mention anything that happened in TNA. That's a whole other suitcase right there. But man, that was something special, and it even got to me. I even thought it was a beautiful retrospective. It was really, really nice. So we come back and he's just bawling. He's crying. He's I mean, there's no way this is not legitimate, because I even saw on Twitter people saying, "Oh, it's a work. He's not really retiring." The crowd chants, "Thank you, Kurt," as Baron Corbin comes out, and Corbin calls the video ancient history because the man in the ring struggles to take his coat off. He goes 2 or 3 minutes and he's already out of breath, huffing and puffing. He says he can't hang with the likes of today's superstars. And by the way, Baron Corbin says that he's done having his social media being overrun by people saying that he doesn't deserve to be in that match, in Kurt Angle's final match. Again, I'm telling you, you people, I'm telling you guys, it's a swerve. Baron Corbin is not going to really be the match, the exit match for Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle, this is my prediction, and I'm going to tell it again on my WrestleMania prediction show this Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on youtube.com/Mr. Warren Hayes. Baron Corbin is going to be squashed, and then John Cena is going to come out, and they're going to redo the ruthless aggression thing, and then we're going to have a real match. Because they being Corbin and commentary, would not be putting over the fact that the WWE Universe is in disagreement with Baron Corbin in this position. So it's a swerve. Anywho, Rey Mysterio's music hits, and Rey says, someone needs to teach you a lesson in respect, Baron, and on behalf of you, Kurt, I challenge Corbin to a match tonight. Corbin cheap shots Rey, but Mysterio and Angle gang up on him. Angle slam on Corbin. And we're going to get that match a little later on in the evening. We have a quick interview with Charlotte Flair and Charlie Caruso. There we go. So that just happened. So a few quick words from her. Then we get Aleister Black and Ricochet versus the Revival for the Raw Tag Team titles. Black and Dawson start first. There's some back and forth between them both. And Dawson gets a chop in, shoulder blocks Aleister, an elbow to the face. He drives Black's face onto Wilder's knees, which was really good. Black, though, starts fighting back, leg sweeps, and goes for a cover, but only gets 2. He hits a big arm drag on Wilder, gets an armbar in, and tags Ricochet in as he holds the arm. Ricochet continues working the arm. Wilder powers out of it, though, and some double team action happens from the Revival. Ricochet, though, battles back with the Hurricane Rana on both members of the Revival at once. Dawson, when we come back from commercial, Dawson hits a nice Northern Lights suplex on Aleister Black, covers him, but only gets 2. And he hammerlocks Aleister and puts pressure on the joints, starts working the arm of Aleister Black. He goes for a suplex on Black, but it's reversed. But Black can't lift him up because his arm is hurting. Ricochet comes in, hits a neck breaker, covers Wilder but only gets 2. A cheap shot by Dawson leads into Wilder. A cheap shot by Dawson pushes or has Ricochet stumble into Wilder, who hits a gory special on Ricochet and covers him for 2.9. Alistair fights off both Revival guys on the outside. He hits a big knee on Dawson, but Wilder comes back with the tornado DDT on Black off of the barricade. That was really cool. And Ricochet, though, you want to talk about cool, hits a sick Tope con Hilo over the post onto everyone on the outside. And it was just smooth. So smooth and like butter. And the velocity he had on it, that was nice. So the referee has started a 10 count. And Wilder gets back into the ring. Ricochet tries to get back in, but Dawson was hiding under the ring. And he keeps Ricochet from getting back in, so he can't break the count. The Revival retain. But then Aleister Black is pissed off. He hits a Black Mass on Wilder, then hits another one on Dawson in the ring. And that lets Ricochet get the 630 then. That was, you know what, fun little match. And I really liked this ending. It was very revival-y. It was a revival type. It was very much a revival type match. Especially the ending. You know, I didn't have a problem with the ending. I thought it was creative. It was fun. Still keeps Alistair and Ricochet looking strong. But come on, let's be honest. No one really thought they were going to win tonight, right? Not going into TakeOver to face the War Raiders for the NXT championships, the NXT tag team titles. No one really thought that was going to happen, right? Right? I didn't. Next, we have Ronda, who's backstage. She's doing some shadow boxing. She says that she doesn't want to talk. She wants to fight, but yet she still talks. She talks about stimulants. Or stimulations, I should say, instead of stipulations. So that made me chuckle. Made Kristen chuckle as well. Then we cut backstage to Alexa Bliss, but bless Alexa Bliss, though. Who's talking with Tyler Breeze and EC3. And they're having a chuckle at the weekend update that happened this week at Saturday Night Live. And Braun arrives and he's pissed that people like Saturday Night Live or Weekend Update. And then they say, well, it's those two guys over there that showed us some clips. And then he goes over to the two guys and challenges them to a match because he's going to visualize his Saturday Night Live opponents. Oh, I'm so done with them. And Braun Strowman, my God. So next we have Roman Reigns also, who's backstage, and he's talking about his WrestleMania match against Drew McIntyre. Basically saying stuff about Drew, and then Drew arrives and gives him a nice latte and hopes that Roman is doing well.
Yo, boy, it's a birthday!
No, that's not what happened. Drew blindsided Roman and attacked him, took him down, beat him up. That's your hype. That's your build up for the big match at WrestleMania. Okay. All right. Now we're getting into it now. The Riot Squad in a 6-woman tag match faced Charlotte Flair, Ronda Rousey, and Beckworth Lynch Becky says, well, Becky has a quick promo where, she basically says she and Charlotte and Ronda want to make history, but for her, she has no choice. She has to make history. If there's stipulation here, very important. If someone betrays each other on the triple threat side of the WrestleMania team, if any of those three women betray each other, they are out of the main event. They get bounced off. So Charlotte basically goes in with some chops on Ruby Riott. Becky tags herself in, mocks Charlotte, and points at her chin, hoping that Charlotte would hit her, but no dice. Charlotte's no fool. She runs the ropes, but she gets shoulder blocked down. She gets covered by Ruby Riott, but slides out of the pin. When we're back from commercial, Sarah Logan has Becky in a chin lock, whips her into the corner, but Logan eats a Becky boot. She throws herself off of the turnbuckle with a flying fist on Logan. Gets an enziguri. Then shortly thereafter, Logan kicks her on the side of the face and follows up with a standing cloverleaf. Liv comes in, and Becky takes her down. Beck exploder on Logan, another one on Liv. She covers Liv, who's the legal woman, but only gets two. Charlotte tags herself in, but then Ronda tags herself in, and everyone jaw jacks at each other. Then Ronda sort of turns around and arm bars Liv, who taps like that. And I like that. The minute that Ronda locks the armbar in, Liv is like, nope. Makes the finisher look good. Makes it look strong. No stupid shenanigans. Look good. Let's talk about some shenanigans now. I enjoyed this so much. So the minute the bell rings, Ronda just turns right around and throat punches Charlotte. The minute the match is done. So Charlotte and Ronda go at it. Then Becky jumps in. And they have a pull-apart brawl. Now, this is kind of where I ended my notes. I was like, oh, they're going to have a pull-apart brawl. It's going to be, and it's fun. So security comes to try and break them apart. But the ladies they're destroying the security. Like, I don't know what kind of security WWE hires. Like, I think they have like a 10-year contract with this firm. Something very ironclad that they can't weasel out of. Because, man, security on WWE has been shit for years. Years and years and years. I don't know if it's the same company or if they're, they rotate. They try other people out and it's just, most security guards are just awful. Because, man. Well, anyway, security wasn't enough. Law enforcement arrives. Now, WWE had called the police station. It called the police department and said, "Look, we need easily a dozen of your finest men and women to be ready because we expect the need to make some arrests tonight. We decided to put these women in a match before WrestleMania and put them in a position where they could compromise that main event. We're doing that tonight, okay? And they might really go at each other and try to kill each other, so we'll need law enforcement." So anyway, the law enforcement runs in. There's obviously law enforcement better trained than just your mere security guards because they start to maintain control. But then Ronda goes after Becky and she shoves a member of law enforcement, knocks him down. So they slap the cuffs on Rousey. It's like, We're taking you down to the clink. You're going to go spend some time in the drunk tank. I'm not drunk. You're still going to spend some time there. You got to cool down, baby. So they put the cuffs on her. And when she has the cuffs on her, Becky goes after Ronda, of course. The cops are like, hey, you're interfering in an arrest. Get her. She has to be arrested too. So they slap the cuffs on Becky. And as they're taking Ronda out of the ring, Charlotte goes after Ronda. So they put cuffs on Charlotte as well. And they are dragging all three to the back up the ramp. And they are all resisting arrest. Like, they're all putting up a fight and get your hands off me. And they're pissed. And at this point, I'm like, wow, this was really fun. I really enjoyed this pull apart brawl, because then they cut to the ring to show what happened, to show the end of the match. So I'm like, wow, okay, this is fine. This is probably the best build that this feud has had in months now. But no, we weren't done. We go backstage. And they have the police are dragging them to their cars. They're getting, and Ronda, as she's being dragged up, she says something to one of the cops like, "We pay for your salary." They're like, of course, Ronda Rousey would say that, right? So they're getting loaded. They're loading the ladies into the cars. They put Charlotte into one of the cop cars. She sort of kicks the cop car before getting in. And so they open the door and they toss her in. And then the cops load Becky and Ronda in the back of the same car. They are on either side of the car, and they just put them both in. And Charlotte and not Charlotte, but Becky and Ronda sort of look at each other, and they start kicking each other because they're handcuffed, right? And they're kicking and kicking each other until Ronda's foot goes right through a window. And these are the worst cops. They're the worst cops. Why would any police officer decide to do that? And there's no communication amongst these people. There's no one saying, I'll go on the right side of the car with my perp. Oh, I'll go on the left side of the car with my perp. What is that? Anyway, so they go back after Becky and Ronda to pull them out of the cars, right? So they start dragging Becky away. They start dragging Becky away from the black car, because there's the black car and there's the police car. And as they're going towards the police car, one of the cops just opens the door, and Charlotte comes out and she kicks Becky. Why did he open the door for Charlotte? Where they think, oh, well, I guess the first time didn't work putting those two together. We'll go put the redhead with the blonde. That'll be better. I don't know what they're thinking. So as this is happening, you certainly hear there's a motor that turns over and a car screeching, and Rousey's is driving the black car, and she rams it into the cop car, but she's driving with her hands tied behind her back. Oh, I thought this was incredible. And then to make this like the cherry on top, Ronda is sticking her head out again with her hands tied behind her back. And she's screaming at Becky and Charlotte through the window, like her torso, half of her torso is out. And Charlotte just runs over and knees her right in the face, and her head bounces off the side of the window. That was nuts. That really, really was crazy. That was so much fun. It was fun. It was so stupid, but it worked because it was so over the top and ridiculous. Now, you can be a party pooper here. If you want, you can poop at whoever's party you want to. That's your right as a member of a free society. But saying, well, realistically, they'd all have they'd have more than just 2 cars, and all these police officers would be cited, and just at this point, just roll with it. Were you entertained? Was it stupid and fun? Yes, and this right here did so much more good to the entire feud, to the entire build up to WrestleMania than the past 6 weeks. Ronda was actually fun tonight. It was so much fun. It was so crazy and chaotic. The knee shot that Charlotte gave Ronda. My God. And you really buy into the fact to the idea that these women just want to tear at each other. I was always going to look forward to this main event because the match in and about itself, with three such talented women, you cannot not have a bad match. The main event is going to be good. I would have preferred a better build up to the match. If they had done shit like this, just sprinkled throughout, instead of, the injury angle. Because Becky's leg looks damn good now, don't you find? Instead of doing the injury angle and then the relinquishing of the title and all that heavy-handed stuff. This was good. It was a good time. Next, we had another tag team match. Chad Gable and Bobby Roode versus Heavy Machinery. Not much of a match here, to be perfectly frank with all of you. Roode later on in the match goes for a glorious DDT, but Otis Dozovich blocks it and takes Roode down. He hits the Caterpillar, covers, but Gable breaks it up. Tucker and Gable tumble hard to the floor. But Gable gets back up on the top rope, jumps off. Otis grabs him, and the compactor happens for the 3 count. This is an indication that they are going to split up Roode and Gable already. Well, what can you do? They were actually starting to grow on me as a tag team. Wouldn't be surprised that WWE's plan here would be to just break them apart, because they're actually starting to build something. Oh, we're going to have to cool them down now. Next, we have my favorite segment of the night, which was Braun Strowman beating up 2 guys.
Yo, boy, it's a birthday! Oh.
It was not my favorite segment of the night. I don't care. I don't care about this. He beat up 2 jabronis and that he was using to visualize as the Saturday Night Live guys, and it was just a squash match. I don't care about Braun Strowman and his fight at the WrestleMania with the actor-comedian guys. Speaking about... No, I actually care about this. I care too much. Bobby Lashley comes out to get interviewed in the ring by Charlie Caruso, basically saying, she asks Bobby Lashley, do you have a concern on Sunday? And Lio Rush jumps in. He says, are you kidding me? What happened last week was a fluke. Finn Balor didn't pin Bobby Lashley. It won't happen, and now it's going to be a one-on-one match. Bobby won't have to deal with dead weight Jinder Mahal. How dare Lio Rush speak of a former WWE champion as such that has held the WWE championship for over 170 days. And Charlie asks, what about the rumors that Finn Balor might be coming in as the Demon? Lashley says that he isn't afraid of an Irish fairy tale. But Finn appears on screen and promises the Demon at WrestleMania because he appears on screen and then digital smoke obfuscates his presence only to reveal then that he is in demon form. Just a little bit awkward. Just a little bit awkward. Yeah. Didn't care for it much. Here's the thing that I don't understand. Why people are saying that I sound like a Russian woman. Why? Oh, when I was doing that voice. It doesn't care about the Braun Strowman. She's had a hard life smoking, drinking lots of bootleg vodka. So that's the character. I'm giving her a backstory. I'll work on it. Keep you posted for next week. Or tomorrow, whatever. Whenever I pull it out next time. Here's the thing though. If Finn Balor is deciding to pull the Demon out for, and that's not innuendo, by the way. If Finn Balor is deciding to give us the Demon at WrestleMania for the IC title, why didn't he do it against Brock? Because Finn knows he can beat Bobby Lashley. He doesn't necessarily need the Demon. The Demon wins, right? That's the thing. The Demon has a streak. The Demon has never lost. So other than Vince McMahon wanting the Demon, why should the Demon be here? There's no real reason, and it doesn't make sense. And like CM Phil says, no surprises. Oh, well. I mean, we're still going to get to see the Demon, and that's fine, because Finn changes his style up a bit. He becomes a little more intense, and that's fun. It's not just as if he just puts makeup on and he stops doing... he switches it up a bit, so that's fun. It'll get a big pop. I'll pop for it. Don't get me, like, I'm splitting hairs. Am I going to be disappointed to see the Demon at WrestleMania? No, not. I'll be disappointed if Bobby Lashley defeats the Demon, though. WWE, they play the cards right. They'd have a new WrestleMania streak on their hands. And finally, we come to our main event of the evening, Rey Mysterio versus Baron Corbin, in what I could only refer to as the best match of the night.
Yo, boy, it's a birthday!
Okay. That was the last time. No, this was not good. This was not a good match. This was not a good match. I'm very disappointed. Yeah. I like that at first. The announcer went through all of Baron's various accomplishments. Former assistant general manager, Golden Gloves champion, former U.S. champion, former Money in the Bank Mr. Money in the Bank. And I really was hoping that someone would start a trash fire, or what was the chant that they were giving him for a short while? I don't remember. But yeah, basically. Yeah, but so that's a good way to get some heat. I mean, Baron Corbin's all about the heat. Ray starts going in for some quick strikes because there's a size disadvantage here. And it's not as if Ray has ever fought bigger guys than Baron, right? He tries to whip Baron Corbin, but eventually he gets him into the ropes and drop kicks him to the knees. He slides to the outside, baiting Corbin. Corbin follows him out, of course, because he's been baited. And then Rey Mysterio gets back into the ring and drop kicks him to the face, right to the outside. Rey tries to slide between his legs again, but he gets picked up into a powerbomb position. But Mysterio fights out of it, and they dump themselves over the top rope and to the outside. Ray is driven into the barricade by Corbin, who gets him back into the ring, props him up on the top rope, tries to remove the mask. Instead, Corbin dumps him over. Mysterio lands on his feet somewhat, and it looked a little awkward because he was supposed to land on his feet, but he kind of whiffed it, and he went down really quickly, started favoring a leg. And for the way that the match continued, I guess it was storyline because it all felt very natural, but you know what? I could be wrong on this one. I could really, really be wrong. So at this point, Corbin starts working the leg, puts a lot of offense on it. He puts a lot of offense on it, but eventually, of course, Mysterio fights back. In fact, Ray tries to get a sleeper hold on Corbin, but he flips him off his back, rushes the corner, but Ray moves out of the way, hits a top rope Hurricane Rana. Tilt-a-whirl DDT by Mysterio covers Baron for 2. Corbin eats the 619, and immediately Ray goes for the frog splash, but Corbin rolls out of the way. Ray fights out of a power bomb, eats a deep 6. Lovely deep 6, if we're being fair here. And gets covered for the win. So your number one contender for the U.S. title lost a match on Raw. Zambita was, I mean, you booked yourself into a corner here, WWE, because, like, well, on one end, we have to make Corbin look strong going into WrestleMania. But then what do we do with, Ray, who has a title match? Oh, well, he can lose. Can he? Really? You have your... I don't know. Anyway, after the match, as Baron Corbin is going back up the ramp, Kurt Angle attacks him from behind and ankle locks that bitch. Oh, it's been a long evening, folks. But my stream held out the whole way. Everything looked good. It's fantastic. Dolphin Ziggler says that Disney is going to copy strike this video. I'd like to see them try. It's an April Fool's joke, Disney. I'd like to see you try and take comedy away from us. Like to see you try. Folks, we're going to wrap this one up for the evening. I want to thank everyone who joined us here this evening because that made me very happy. You know, it's always a thrill to have people come in and join us live here, and I want to thank everyone for popping in. I want to thank you even if you're watching later on or listening on podcasts. Your support and your taking the time to listen to my stuff is very, very humbling, and I appreciate it. But I'm not gonna let you off that easily, because I want you back tomorrow right here on youtube.com/Mr. Warren Hayes, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, for my SmackDown Live recap. And there'll be more stuff this week, but we'll talk about it as we go along. But be sure to come back tomorrow for my SmackDown Live recap. Again, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on youtube.com/Mr. Warren Hayes. And if you want to make sure that you don't miss a thing ever, just follow me on Twitter at Mr. Warren Hayes. Guys, again, thank you very much for joining me this evening. I'll see you next time.